to talk to you really briefly about your first larger project you're going to start this week. You're going to have a few weeks to work on this project and then it'll be due. So you'll notice the pace is going to quicken this week. If you come down here, we're going to continue with our design fundamentals. And if you come into Gestalt and Visual Order, you're going to see some more content has been uploaded. The first thing I'm going to need you to do is by Wednesday, start to familiarize yourself with Adobe Illustrator. So in this section, I'm uploading some exercise videos and there's a pencil here. Lean back. And right here, you're going to see your project sheet. So this first project is called Visual Order, and at the project's end, you should be able to codify, demonstrate basic visual principles of Gestalt, symmetry, and balance, solve problems within given parameters, engage in experimentation and alternative form-making processes. I'd like you to have fun with this project. Accomplish stated project objectives and goals. You need to be on time and you need to turn it in full. Demonstrate exemplary visual craft. For us, this is a digital book, so that won't be as difficult for this project. Methodically document relevant design, inspiration, and process. This is true. I'd like to see your process along the way. Present work in a visually and verbally articulate manner. So what you're going to do is you're going to create a digital book showing these principles. It's a pretty basic project, so it's not, for some of you this may not seem very fun, but I think you should try to find ways to find enjoyment in it. You need to illustrate each principle by a graphic vector image that you create, or you can create your own photograph. If you're going to take a photograph, this needs to be a constructed image, meaning you build the image, you don't just find it in your environment. And you also need to have the definition of each principle. So right here is your list of required principles. So you're going to give about a spread to each. That means 2 pages. So similarity, proximity, closure, continuation, figure ground, symmetry or order, and asymmetrical balance. Your final artifact is this digital file. Your page size is 5 inches and that's going to give you by 5, and that's for 2 pages together. When you open a book, that's called a spread. You're going to end up with 10 pages in width. You do need to include a front and back cover, and you need to write your credit at the end. So on the back, you're going to have your name completed as a requirement for the graphic design course at Washburn University. Your required content is description of the term and definition. You need to set a cohesive theme. I encourage you to have a little fun with this, and you'll see I have a couple examples for that. And each term is represented by a vector that you create or a photograph. The photos must be constructed image or cut and paste. You're going to end up uploading a digital PDF to turn this in. If we come back to the course content, so that's the project sheet, you're going to see a reading here. This is a pretty easy to read reading. I think you'll find this easier than the Armin Hoffman reading. And you're going to see a little bit about Gestalt, what it is, and these principles. So similarity, proximity. This should follow along with the principles in your sheet. And you'll want to make sure you go through that and have write some notes on what you want to write the definition. Make sure the definition is in your own words. I've also uploaded a couple student outcomes. So here, this was from a student last year. And you can see she kind of went with a birthday party theme. It's pretty fun. So this is Visual Order. She's got a page. There is a table of contents. You do need to set a table of contents in this. And you can see my students last year actually had to have more principles. I've kind of simplified this down. So Z did a really good job with playing around with the typography, having fun with it, setting some type, and then building some constructed image photographs that she took that illustrate these principles. So this one really illustrates similarity. These are basically the exact same hat. And you can see she carried that through in the rest of her book. And as you can see, her type setting, her type compositions also kind of illustrate the definition of the word. And you'll see some great fun in that book. The second example is also kind of food-based. This must have been on trend. This was Isabel Brown. She used sprinkles, and she built these, I believe, just at our kitchen table. Isabel does a really good job, nice job, creating some really interesting layouts, just looking at how she can bring her photo in a different way. So she took her photo, and then she built her booklet. And again, she did some playing around with typography on the term and definition. And then she built these little sprinkles that demonstrate the principle. So playing around the theme and exploring these principles is really what you're working on. If you come here to your calendar, you're going to see some deadlines have come in, some more deadlines. Right here, your Illustrator tutorial. So I'd like you to try to get through Illustrator by Wednesday and upload those. You're going to want to explore the shape palette using the pencil. You're going to use the pen tool, and you're going to do some typesetting. And next Monday, the 29th, you actually are going to have some sketches and work due for this visual order book. I'd like you to have 10 sketches and ideas each for similarity and proximity. So just looking at those top two. And at this stage, explore a few different themes for your book. So it could be sprinkles, it could be vector graphics, it could be, sports, it could be whatever. Just try to play around still at this stage, see what you want to do. When I say sketches, you can draw this out on paper. You can take a quick photo illustrating your idea. And you'll want to create 10 for each, so similarity and proximity at this stage. That following Friday, the 2nd, I'd like you to really push through and finish the rest of the principles. So you'll only do 4 sketches for each principle. In between this period, I'm going to provide you some feedback so you know kind of which theme you want to work with, and you're going to go through there. If we go to the next month, here's those 2. You're going to have a mock-up of this book due on that Wednesday, February 7th. So you're going to work with setting up your pages, doing some layout, and finishing a rough draft of it here. And your final book is due February 12th. I like to kind of leapfrog my projects, so you'll notice there's a couple new things have popped up even before this first book is submitted. So you can expect some material starting on your second project for this week, that 5th, that week before visual order is due. And that's just to help you get thinking about the next project and let you kind of finalize project 1 and start brainstorming project 2 in that last week. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions. I'd like to remind you to also post an introduction of yourself in this ARC discussion. And if you're having any issue working anything on the online course, make sure you message me or send me an email. And I look forward to reviewing your dot and line and reading through your reading reflections this week.